I'll have the intro. So we're going to just wait till I get you on your page.
We get some people who help.
We need people, and then I'll introduce.
Yeah, it was just we could just talk. Otherwise, it's just too nice. It's a lonely world. It's just you and me. Hi Sam, it's just you so far, honey bunny. I was 14, but I was 14 people. So good evening. Oh, sorry, I can talk.
Let me see. I'm going to share now. Share to my timeline. I'm going to share to this one.
I was saying hi everyone. Kevin's just sharing it to his stuff, so I guess this would. But we'll just say hello. Hi Jenna. Hi everybody. So everyone pops in. This is Kevin. I think I recognise that name. So this is Kevin. There's a few people who noticed how cute you were the other night, Kevin, when we were doing like 1 o'clock in the morning. When we were
doing that 1 a.m.
Sound check,
and then everyone woke up and joined, which is
and a few of the girls think were very cute.
It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Let's see here.
Oh yeah.
I've got to figure out. Facebook is wonderful for many things, and not so wonderful in other things. I'm going to share to my page. One moment, please, Kevin. Paul, there. I'm going to write something. Click and share. Let's see here.
Hi, everybody.
Let me see. Make sure we're good here, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see here. There we go. We're good. Are we ready to start, you think?
Yeah. Very good. Irene, we're not doing readings tonight. We're doing chit-chat tonight, Irene. So there's no readings tonight, Irene Robinson. Sorry, but just stand be part of our night.
So I want to welcome everyone to Psychics Medium Live, hosted by yours truly, Kevin Paul, Psychic Medium. Today, my guest is my dear friend Becs from England. And this show is really a fun conversation between two psychic mediums sharing our journey through this crazy world we live in hopes of helping you and your own spiritual journey of self-discovery. I want to thank you so much, Becs, for being my guest today.
Oh, you're so welcome. It could go down any bad hole, couldn't it?
But we'll keep it as Jackie would say, keep it clean and legal, right?
Well, cleanish, legalish, we're fine.
That's right.
Apparently I am blurry. I shouldn't be blurry. Let me check my connection speed. I shouldn't be blurry. I'm blurry. I shouldn't be blurry.
You look like you have a tan as well. Have you been tanning?
Only when I do yoga class in the morning. It's outside in a garden, like a hotel garden, and so yeah, I've been having that now. But it is all my own colour, just so you know, my own colour, no fake. But if it's going blurry, you guys know as it goes blurry, it's often it's spirit around. So often, because when I go online, we get a lot of stuff going on. So it could be stuff around. So it'll go clear in a bit.
Can everyone see Becs? Is Becs clear to everyone out there? Let's just see what your people are saying.
I'm very blurry. I don't know what to make of that.
Becs is never clean, of course.
I behave. Thank you. You'll get me in trouble. This is America. This is an American show. Be nice.
This is an American show.
Please, will get me in trouble.
Becs is blurry. Becs is blurry.
Well, I'm hoping it will sort itself out in a minute. So it will hopefully clear itself in a second. But carry on.
Carry on. They can hear your voice. Your voice is out there. You're a little bit more clear. So folks have asked me how we met. Becs, how did we meet?
We met at a bar.
We actually met at the bar, but where was this bar?
We met at Hogwarts. Most people know I've been to Hogwarts. We met at the Arthur Finney College which is in England, which is 20 minutes from you, a long way from you. And we met on a course, and we just got on really well. And you've seen me at my best. You've seen me when I'm angry. You've seen me in all sorts of me. So yeah, you know each other really quite well. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm to try and slow things speaking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down all my apps on my taskbar, so there's nothing on apart from. And then I'm going to just switch off everything apart from us. And then I'm going to switch something. I'll sort my phone out as well very quickly and see what else I can switch on. I remember to always want to switch something off. Mobile data, let's turn that off.
What we're doing is we're trying to get some more clarity on.
Yeah, that should.
So we can see her.
Make me better.
Make you prettier and prettier as you turn the apps off, right?
Yeah, I've done it, but it's gone blurry and it's gone unblurry again. So I'm clear now. So I'm all clear now. But yes, we met at the Arthur Finney College. I think it was Jackie Wright's course, wasn't it? I think.
Right, Jackie Wright.
And we got on great, and we've kept in touch. And Haley, you can't chat him up, Haley. I think he's got a partner, but you're in Las Vegas, aren't you, Kevin?
What's that?
You're in Las Vegas?
No. I'm in Washington, D.C. What we did talk about when we were at the Arthur Finney College is, I think you would be great in America. You'd be great in Vegas. We just have to get you. We have to get the COVID pandemic resolved, and then we can get you over here, because you would be so entertaining and so talented, and I think you'd really play well on the East Coast, and then we'd make our way slowly to Vegas, because it takes a while.
Vegas, baby.
Careful. We'll have to go slowly. I think it'll be really, I think you'd be a hit here in America, and yeah, absolutely. I know for sure. My question for you is, what have you done in your life that's made you famous or infamous? But famous. What makes you famous? What is it that you've done in your life that's made you famous? And I'll share it with me too.
Yeah, I know what you've done. You've got to, because you are famous. I'm not famous. I think my 5 minutes of fame. I've had a couple of 5 minutes of fame. I think my most famous 5 minutes was when I was on this morning with my ex, my partner, and it was all about. It was 12 years ago after my gender surgery. Nothing to do with mediumship. It was just that we stayed together, and we was in a magazine, and a national magazine picked it up, and then the national TV breakfast show picked up, and we had our 5 minutes of fame, and we got picked up by a car, and we had a proper, we had a real green room, and we was on TV. I think that's famous. Well, I've been a couple of magazines and things, but no. But I know what you've been doing. You've got to tell everyone your background, because I think it's amazing, Kev. I
mean, definitely. I saw your interview on television. Yeah, it took courage, and it was absolutely amazing. I was very impressed. I've only been famous, just with one little TV show called American. It's called American Got Talent. And about 10 years ago, I had a dance company, and we trying to get outside of the country to have some fun and entertain. We had our day jobs, but we wanted to go to Europe, go around the world, and we got called into America's Got Talent with all the crazy hosts that they had back then, and we just kept going further and further and further. I was like, guys, we'll never make it out of New York City. Then we got out of New York City, and then they went to Las Vegas, and I said, guys, we'll never make it out of Las Vegas. And then we made it to the live show in Hollywood, and it was just crazy. And the moral of the story was that it actually was a great resume piece, and it helped us, perform all around the world. Our last show was in London for a Christmas show. The something Winton something. He's a big TV host in England, and he hosted Dale Winton, who passed away. He hosted that Christmas show, and Hoot.
I've got another claim to fame. Elaine Harrison, who's not only a friend, she does some PR for me. Well, she's my PR lady. I was on the front page of Psychic News, Kevin. I got featured in Psychic News. They did a 3-page. It was meant to be an article. It ended up being a 3-page story on me. So that's another claim. Of course, as Darren said, I've met Darren. Oh, Darren, shut up. I love you. But yeah. So I've done. Yeah, I will tell you a funny story, Kev, and I don't know if you know this. I was actually we've got some national newspapers. I was in a national newspaper in the Daily Star's like your National Enquirer. Respectfully say that's the Daily Star. And a friend of mine who's quite well known, she's another chance, but she was out in a pub, and she mentioned that she was getting an Exorcist. Oh, and the Metro. Yes, I've been in the Metro newspaper. Yes, you're quite right. See, Elaine knows what I've been. I'm not really good at pushing myself, Elaine. You must tell me because I can't remember stuff. So this friend of mine put up that she was getting a priest in to clear the pub. I said, I phoned her. I said, look, what are you doing? I'll come down and do it, and I'll do it properly. There's anything going on, we'll pick up on it. And she said, I'll get the press involved. So I thought she meant the local press. I've gone down there, and there's a national journalist and a national photographer, and they're filming everything. And Kelly's quite well known, a woman called Kelly Maloney. So we're walking around the pub, and she's going to be anything. I mean, there's nothing. We went through the whole frigging pub, nothing. And Kelly said, "We'll make it up." I said, "I'm not making it up, Kelly. There's nothing here." Nothing here. And it was in the middle of all this refurbishment going on. And in the end, she said, well, can we do a little group night? So I said, yeah, we'll do a group night if you want. And the the journalist and the photographer were stepbrothers. And these hard-nosed journalists, the dad came through, and the stepdad and the brother are both outside making up crying. So wow. They obviously knew what they were doing. And then the next thing I know, I get a phone call from Kelly saying, yeah, we're on page 3 of the Daily Star. Over nothing, you know. It's like I can't remember what they called me. I can't remember if they called me a trans X. I don't know what I was called, but it was like I don't know what it was. It just didn't let me photograph together, and some story about came down to see it, but there was nothing in there. It was so that's another little claim to fame. Little 5 minutes. Lee, imagine it's nothing. Lee, we've only been chatting for 5. Lee, we didn't start till 8 o'clock. He missed nothing. Only 5 minutes. We're chatting here for hours. So Lee made something really well. So you missed nothing, Lee. Right, we're just gassing. We're talking about famous moments. We're not actually
our famous moment. I mean, we don't have our own television show, but it's part of our adventure. And help kind of.
I think the weirdest thing that happened to me was we've got these garages called BP. I was in this BP garage in the middle of nowhere, and some customer goes, "You're Becs." I went, "Oh, what do you want?" I went, "That's not me." Apparently, I gave a reading the year before, so that was kind of that's a weird moment. You get that sometimes. People look at you, go, "You can't really miss me. I'm 6'2". I stand out like a sore bloody thumb. I'm not going to. I'm not going to go that. I was very blessed. Yeah, Julie's mentioned. I got no Colin a little bit before he passed. I was very blessed. I got no Colin a little bit for a while.
Well, you've had some good TV coverage in your. It's kind of fun. Yeah. It's fun. Kind of fun.
It's like TV, some internet stuff. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's all good.
Fun. It's all fun. So let's talk about our journeys. Tell everyone about your spiritual journey and your development to a psychic medium, because I really don't know, your journey.
Well, it's funny. I only found out before my mum passed. As a little boy, between the age of 2 and about 5, I had a best friend, spirit friend. Well, I assume she was a spirit. It was called Girl, and she would have to go. And I didn't know the extent of it. It's about a couple of months before my mum passed. But this friend would go absolutely everywhere with me. And it was only when I started school. Don't talk about book. I'm not writing. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not writing a book. But don't. Elaine might be there. She might start nagging me. Anyway, and that was it. And then as a little boy, I just wanted to talk to dead people. That sounds weird, but nothing, because all I really want to do was be a mermaid. And wanting to be a mermaid was great when I was 6. Shit at 27. That's that was it really. And in my teens, I don't know about you going up great, but growing up as a trans person, when I grew up, it was all I could do was keep it quiet, hide, you know, because the fear of ridicule and rejection was off the chart. And of course, and then really nothing really happened. And I was with my first wife, and we sat in a circle a little bit. I got a few bits, not a lot. And then I started doing a bit of tarot cards, but nothing spiritually. And what really changed, I was always very spiritual. When I went to, and I was with Nikki for my ex-wife for the longest time. And when we started to get married, we thought we'd get married in a spiritual church because we're both spiritual. And that's before I transitioned. So I never thought I'd transition. And then slowly along came the right teacher, the right teacher. And then my dream, which is what this is, which to open up as a medium, along with the physical and emotional transition. Hindsight's great because it was almost in tandem. It's almost as like as I evolved more as a person, the emotional, the more it came on. Because I mean, the first thing happened, I've had 22 hours of facial surgery. So my 22 hours plus 18 hours of hair work plus the other stuff, you know, the gearbox. And but yeah, so my first surgery was 12.5 hours of bone work because I never thought I'd get a face like this. So then it's opened up there. And then suddenly you find the right tutors, the right teaching. You know, you must know yourself, it is the most frustrating journey because it's not actually about mediumship. It's about yourself. And there's a guy called Eamon Downey who is like, Eamon and Jackie know each other really well. And it was just, you know, you say it's the mediumship. It's about the medium. And when I teach, I always say it's not the mediumship. It's how's the medium. The mediumship is easy once you get yourself out of the way.
Right.
And once you let them do the work, you know, when I teach mediumship, I always say the first important link that you're ever going to make, the only point you're going to make, is with yourself. So you can't link your own spirit, your own soul. How can you then link the spirit world? Because your brain can't link the spirit.
Exactly.
And that really is enough. And now I'm blessed. I mean, before the lockdown, I was sort of demoing like 6 nights a week. I was doing something, and but now it's just my life really. It's just why I'm here.
I mean, you're coming out as trans definitely is part of that spiritual journey and being comfortable with yourself. And when you're comfortable with yourself, then you can actually do this work better. Wow, yeah. That's amazing.
Because it's like if you're always fighting it. I mean, I'm in a place where I get in front of like 200 people, where there might be 10 people. We did a show this afternoon. If you don't like me being trans, you can bugger off. Do one. You know, it's not.
You've been through quite a bit, so it's
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. But you know what I've learned, if you look at Native American society, Native Americans would call trans people Wiccatized, twin souls.
Yes, I think the American Indian, right? The indigenous Indian.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Because
right.
It's, you know, they identify up to 5 genders, and it's just, you know, I kind of get things because why? Because I see both sides of a story. And then also as we go, yeah, absolutely. And then as we go along in life, I don't know myself, but you know, I've done what they call the sacred plant. I've done sacred plant medicine, and you find a place where in life where you try and live without any expectation. You try and love unconditionally. So you love that expectation, you love that attachment. That way you can never get hurt because you're just so open. It's like you and I think the world of you. You can't ever hurt me because I've got no expectations from this. It's just love. Anyway,
that's a great story. I had a different journey. Clearly a different journey.
You still got your gearbox.
Sorry?
You still got your gearbox.
I got everything. Yeah, I've got all the gears. When I was younger, I always knew that there was more to life. And that was my spiritual journeys to figure out what that more was back in the 1980s. And I had to, since there was pretty quiet, you had to figure it out on your own. And I kind of bumped into, friends who would say this, that, or the other. And it would kind of like, oh, that sounds interesting. But I always knew that there was more, and I wanted to find out what that was. And a big book that came out, which is Shirley MacLaine's Out on a Limb, kind of opened the world to the terminology and to, what's out there, even though she was literally, doing some really crazy, wild things at the time.
Really? worked there before.
And I was just like, whoa, let me investigate this. And then I moved to Washington, D.C., where I am now, and met up with a friend. And she introduced me to a spiritualist church. And there I started taking classes and developing myself, from a psychic standpoint, and started getting a little, knowledge about how to do it. And also trying to figure out more, like, how can I be a better me? And how can I take advantage of this unknown, this ability to manifest, this ability to look at the world differently? And then I took a big break because it started to get a little, scary. I was starting to see things, get information, advanced information in dreams. And I was like, as a young kid, I think I'll take a break. I'm going to have some fun. Then I started my own dance company, retired that after 18 years and came back to it. It was like riding a bike. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the feelings, and then started really developing the mediumship part of it and understanding the difference in the vibration between psychic and mediumship reading. And then found everyone was talking about this Arthur Findlay College, because in America, Arthur Findlay is like the Harvard, the best training in the world. So I kind of snuck over last year and met you and Jackie Wright and the whole folks there in that magical world, and have been developing and having a wonderful time, kind of growing and developing, and still trying to unfold what's more, there's more to life. What is it? Okay, what's this? Now it's this. Now it's that. And as you go on your spiritual journey, you find, paths that you didn't expect to be there, and you kind of go down that and get those little goodies and bring them into your life, and go on, get distracted over here. So the journey is not just from one point to another point. It's the journey and the side trips and all these interesting, topics and people that we meet. It's all about being the best, you can be.
Angie Turner trusts you to YouTube DC Cowboys already during the show. One of the girls that comes on has already YouTubed you to check you out. And
she's busted me. She's busted me.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
The dance company was the DC Cowboys dance company. And as I said, Brokeback meets Broadway. So that was part of my spiritual journey. And I learned a lot of things on how to create things in my life and how to make them come true, and how to take advantage of some really cool opportunities. So that certainly helped me from a presentation standpoint. So I'm not uncomfortable being in front of people, talking to people, entertaining people, and it's kind of got me out of my shell a little bit. So that's how it started for me. How has COVID affected you and what you're doing, Becs? Because I know you were always doing shows every night of the week, right?
I was. First of all, Angie Turner, Mother Aya, we'll talk about that another time, Angie. Mother Aya, and Susan Turner, research. I was very lucky before the COVID. I was doing something. As you say, 6 nights a week. It might have been a show, a charity night, a church, a spirit centre, house parties. But it was really, really busy. And then obviously COVID kicked in, and I just had my phone, and I thought, let's do some stuff. So I started teaching some tarot. We started we started doing a morning meditation every morning, and that still goes on now every morning. I missed the occasional one, but every morning, 9 o'clock, we do a morning meditation. And during the lockdown, I was in 2 nights of music a week, a night of tarot cards. We did a chit chat, and we did a deep healing and a deep meditation one night. So I was doing 5 nights a week. I was on about 12 times a week, because we was doing teaching twice a week, and we was doing morning meditation. And what happened was, I didn't want to monetize it at all, but I was so blessed. And she's not here tonight, so I can talk about it. I've got one of my best friends called Hillary. Right at the start, she said, "Can I put a GoFundMe page up on your page?" Yeah, of course you can. I know what it was for, so I thought I'd check it out what it was for. And she did it for me. And I was not happy. And I said, "Take it down." And she went, "No." I said, "Yeah, take it down." And she went, "No." She said, "Because I'm not good at receiving." And that's often our story, Kevin, isn't it? We're good at giving, we're always good at receiving. And we left it up there, and I was so lucky. Over 5 months, I had enough money come in to help pay my rent and keep my head above water. So I was so lucky, and I'm still not really good at it. I said thank you to him, and I tell you the other thing, I've been gifted so many little presents and lovely stuff. I mean, I've been sent about 8 packs of Oracle cards, beautiful little necklaces, food parcels. It's been amazing. And I know some the girls here and the guys here. What's developed, because it hasn't been about, oh, you've got to share it to everyone, you've got to push it, you've got to pay for it. We've developed a genuine, beautiful community. And what I love so much when I'm working, the girls and guys start chatting to each other. And if I'm working with someone, like if I'm reuniting, say, dad and a daughter, and she's in pieces online or she's on the screen, the way the group just put the hearts up and reach out to people is just, for me, so frigging humbling. And we've got some groups on my Becs page, and there's like a meditation one, there's an evening one. And the way they just communicate, it's blowing. The support they give each other is just, and now I'm going back out doing shows. Sometimes the girls meet up, they haven't met each other, but they're hugging. Oh no, they're not hugging at all. But they're hugging each other and it's wonderful, just wonderful. And you know, listen, last night was another intense healing night for everyone. And that's what I'm loving. You know, it's just the community that's been built up, the tribe that's been built up. It's, you know, it is, and they just, and Lisa said it, the community's lovely, and that's what's built up.
I've noticed what you've been doing, because, you know, during lockdown, we were all like stunned into no movement. And to watch you actually inspired me to do those kind of things on my page. I was like, oh, she's doing a 2-card tarot card. I'm going to do that. And, you know, I was like, oh, damn, Becs, you're smart. Doing psychic readings, doing, you know, a bit more content. And that's why I developed, you know, Psychic Mediums Live is, you know, some kind of content to introduce folks, whether they're not comfortable talking, but kind of allow other people to understand psychic mediums are different, and we work differently, and we bring different things into other people's lives differently. And I always say it's always a ministry of healing is what we do. And it's really, that's what I've been kind of just doing, more online stuff and enjoying that kind of a community. But starting this is a nice, really way of kind of introducing folks to people like you, a wonderful person in England who I met, and I think would do really well here in shows in the US. We've got to get you here. So that's what I mean, it took me a while. I mean, I'm a beekeeper, so I had things to do there, and I plant, you know, my community garden. So you know, you've seen that on my Instagram page, which is all beekeeping, because that's more interesting than, you know, doing a tarot card reading and seeing cards. So bees. I was just moving hives today, this morning.
Really?
Yes. I'll post them on my Instagram page, like where they actually went to a Franciscan monastery. There's a reason for that today.
Wow.
So I was at the Franciscan monastery, and it was very quiet and very beautiful. But, you know, it has allowed me to kind of take in a moment and reflect, like, what's important to me, and do it, and how I can actually, I'm lazy as all get out sometimes. And like, okay, it motivates me as to what I need to, like, okay, let's do something, Kevin, to be productive. And so I've done that, and I've read more, and I've done readings over the phone or using Zoom and all these other things. So it's really stuff. Yes.
I've got a question for you. First of all, if I go to America, I'm coming back. I'm not living there. First of all, my brother lives in Colorado, so I might go out for a couple of weeks. We've got a Christmas Day meditation I've been talked into. We are doing, everyone who's listening, Christmas morning, we're still doing a Christmas morning meditation. Not New Year, because I go out to the spirit medicine. But I've got a question from one of my regulars. I love Mandy Connor. Kevin, what did you think of the AFC building?
It reminded me of Downton Abbey, from an American standpoint. I feel like a mini Downton Abbey as well as Hogwarts all combined. It took me about a day and a half to figure out how to get from my room down to the dining area to the classroom. I was like literally going indoors. Where the hell am I? It was very confusing. Yeah, it's just like all these, different, hallways and all, but I thought it was magical. It's a place that, everyone is treated, because we're always dealing with legitimacy, are they real? Is it true? Are they faking it? And that's not an issue there. It was just like, we're really there. We're working on it. No one's questioning it. You're around your people who are also, psychic and mediums. And it just felt comfortable. It was magical and comfortable.
I love it there. I'm so lucky. I live 20 minutes away, obviously, at the moment.
I'm
literally 20 minutes away from the place. And, there was a place, I literally worked at a pub, which was literally a stone, well, not a stone, so about 5 minutes in the car from it. So, but Jackie, anyone gets a beautiful place.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous. It was like, and I'd never really been outside of London, so it was really a beautiful English countryside and a little village. I was just like, oh my God, this is like a dream come true. And Americans are always like, oh my God, you went to Arthur Findlay College. Oh, I'm like, yeah, it was amazing. Definitely go. So, Becs, what do you have upcoming? What are you doing? Tell people what you have upcoming.
Well, obviously, because of the restrictions here, social distancing. Amanda was here a minute ago. Amanda is like, she manages so much, like 90% of my work. She's amazing. She helps me out so much.
I need an Amanda.
She's mine. Amanda's mine. And you see what's crazy is Mandy Conaghy. She does amazing psychic art. So Darren makes the best cakes in the world, and he's an amazing medium as well. That's another story. But so I'm back up doing shows. I can't do any house parties because of this rule of 6 we've got here. So what's happening is that, on one of the shows, so for example, if you've got like a venue that will normally hold 100, we can only have 40. So this place, Max Bar, when I started, we used to have 60, 70 people. We're now down to 25. But what happened was, Amanda, who runs this place I go to regularly, Max Bar, what happened was we booked 4 weeks out of 5 on a Sunday. So instead of doing 1 week in a month, I'm doing 4 Sundays out of 5. So it's another way of. And we've got Harlow coming up, and we reduced from 100 down to 40. But it just is what it is, and it'll just unfold. But it's meant to, if there's another lockdown, a complete lockdown, I'll go back online. Most people who know me, I'm very fortunate. As much as I say, hey, welcome to my studio, I never get tired calling this my studio. I'm in the forest. It's not even a studio. Where I live, Paul, I live at the end of Swan's Land. I'm so blessed. She's actually become a really good friend of mine as well. And I've got a secret little garden with a big hedge, with like a big, like an iron gate into it. I've got my little secret garden. I've got a greenhouse I can use next year. And I've got this bubble. Literally, I've got this room with a lovely desk. I've got my bed. My wardrobe, I've got a little wardrobe, I've got my veils to hang up. I've got a lovely kitchen, lovely bathroom, and it's like I'm kind of blessed, really. So I'm lucky in as much that I don't have a big car to pay up for a month. I'm quite lucky, really. So I can get by, and so I am blessed. I've got grown-up children, and my stepkids are grown up, so they're okay, and my ex-stepkids are okay. So I'm really quite lucky, Kev. I can just. Oh, and Lorraine's yes, Lorraine. Sorry about that, Lorraine. Yes, Lorraine. We've got the big professional microphone now as well. They always talk about my big mic.
Your people take care of you. I love it. That's amazing.
No, Kevin, they're reprobates. No, I love them to pieces. They are fantastic, And what I love, I said before, is how everyone just helps everyone else. Yeah, it's good.
So you're doing online as well as in person, right?
we do. I'm preaching in the town on Sunday night. I'm doing the morning meditation 9 o'clock every morning, and I'm doing the mediumship on Saturday nights. But once we can start traveling, I've got my brother in America. I haven't seen my brother since it must be my mum's funeral. So that's a year ago. So that's on the cards. So and I've got friends in Canada. So I just don't know. It'll just go where spirit takes it. And I am. If Elaine's watching, I am writing a book. Elaine, I am. Elaine is such a special friend. She's a PR. She's my PR guru, and she's lovely. And she says, and in fact, she's sort of pretty much saying, when are you doing your book? How many times do I have to tell you to start your book? She sent me a synopsis, how to write it all. So that is, if we, this is I'm making a promise to Elaine. She's still listening and watching. Town class on Sundays. If we get locked down again, like lockdown, I will start my book. I'll get a book done. But I keep saying it's going to be, it's like Elaine said, I'm going to read a book. It's going to be my story.
Excellent. Anyway, it sounds like you're keeping busy, and your community is really a loving community. I'm very
they're
impressed with the way it's done.
They're a nightmare. They're a nightmare. All of them. They're not really. They're amazing.
It's amazing what this COVID pandemic time has done and changed the way we look at life, the way we come together, the way we support ourselves, and that's really an amazing part of all of our spiritual journey, is kind of opening up, taking a moment, relaxing after we freak out, and then saying, okay, what's important? What do I need to do? What can I do? How can I help others? Or how can I get help? Those are all the things that folks are doing. It's time of reflection. Well, for me coming up, sorry?
What have you got coming up? I'm saying, what have you got coming up?
I've got, I'm doing some more of my psychic medium live shows. I think my next interview is going to be with someone who specializes in pet communication.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'll do some more tarot card pop-ups on Facebook Live. I'm still doing my training, which is all over the phone, basically one-on-one training for people to develop. I call it the Academy of Real Magic. And this is basically beginners development for psychic and mediums, kind of get them on the right path, because I didn't have a good foundation, and it's nice to have a good coach to help you have a good foundation, develop it, and then go forward. And that's really important to me, is the education aspect of it. And I'm going to do some virtual house parties. That's what's coming up for me. I've got to do virtual house parties on Zoom. So those are the kind of fun things. I mean, COVID is forcing me to think out of the box and do things that I normally do.
That's a question one of the girls. In fact, Lorraine, a friend of mine, Lorraine's actually in Canada, and she's another big Christopher fan, aren't you, Lorraine? She's not really. She's just asking, how are you coping with COVID out there, Kevin? You're out there. What's happening? What's going on out there?
In DC, we've been pretty well behaved, and so we have opened up to the point where you can go out to a restaurant, and it's socially distanced. You can eat outdoors, eat indoors. And if you go to a bar, you have to sit at a table with your friends. You can't meander around. And everything is open. You just have to have a mask. It's required to have a mask when you go out in the Washington, D.C. area. And so it's doing fine. It's other cities are a little, where of course we hear about all the drama and craziness going on in the south of the U.S., how they've opened up too fast and never really, did what they needed to do. And this has really become a Republican Democrat, a party issue because of the president, our evil king. I mean, our president is, kind of like, he has designed this craziness. This was his opportunity to be the number one and win a second, but he's just blown it with this really horrible leadership. And we all look overseas and kind of like, oh God, why can't our leadership be like this? So we're kind of, down in the dumps.
We have our problems too, Kevin.
Yeah, but he's a bit more civilized, a bit more honest than than we are here in the U.S. So that's what we realized. We realized the game that's going on. We're not happy with it, and we have an opportunity to have a big vote in November, beginning of November, 3rd or 4th, too. So cross your fingers that we get a new president that actually will show leadership and bring us back, because we look like we used to be pretty good in the world's eyes, and now we look like the punk bully kid in school that no one really wants to play with.
I'm saying nothing. Nothing.
That's all I can say about that. So that's how COVID is. I kind of went on a tangent, didn't I?
No, that's it. But Lorraine just asked. That was also. I just thought I'd just mention it. But we're on the verge of another. I think here that certainly London looks like it's going to go on a 2-week lockdown, but it won't be a lockdown. It just mean the pubs have got shut. You still got to work, still got to school.
Right.
The pubs have got to shut at 10 o'clock. So, or the restaurants. So I just finished. I'll start working. So instead of starting the show at 8 o'clock, I'll start 7:30, finish 9:30. So it won't really affect me. Whether they're trying by stealth to make it another complete shutdown, which will completely fry the economy. But that's politics. That's just
right. My people would like to know, what services do you offer and how can folks contact you?
Well, I do private pole dancing.
6'2" on a pole. There's all legs and all arms.
That's it. Private yoga lessons. What do I do? 2 hours of my pole dancing. Okay, get discount.
I'll watch. Just eat popcorn. Go. Faster.
What do I do?
How can people book a reading, or do you do readings over the phone, or do you do it Zoom?
Now, my working model, and it's only me, I don't charge for private sittings, not because I shouldn't, I can't do it emotionally. I tried it for one day and gave everyone the money back. So my working model, I make my income from my shows and a bit of teaching that I do. That's me. It does mean the flip side, and I always say, if someone is a psychic medium and their income is solely one-to-one, they've got to charge because they've got to make their income. It's just that I can't emotionally do it because to me it's sacred. That's my view, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. So it means I do one-to-ones online a bit, but my problem is it means, well, especially when I was so busy before lockdown, I had a 4-year waiting list because I was only doing, if I was doing 3 or 4 a day or 5 a day, and that's all I did, it'd be 4 or 5 months. But because I literally just juggle them, that's why I can't take bookings of private sittings. I mean, we do the tarot course online, and that is all free on a Sunday afternoon here. The one who might be the Saturday night, we do online mediumship every Saturday night at 7:30, which is the BST, so it's not GMT, it's British Standard Time. I do that every Saturday. And so that's really all I'm doing at the moment, apart from the morning meditation. So they can keep actually love me, and they said they can be part of that. We've got a few people from Oklahoma and Newfoundland and Canada and New Zealand who join in the lives on Saturday night. Right. And again, if we get locked down, I'll be on 5 months a week. So I get basically, because it's just nice to do it now. Otherwise, you sit at home just twiddling your thumbs.
Right. And do you have a website? How do people contact you? How do they go?
Right. The best way of doing it, I've got in fact, I can almost be professional by doing this. 1 second. So I'll add this very quickly. So there, Becs UK, put there for a second. That's my Facebook page. So I try to do Facebook. So I've just put that up there. Oh, blimey, it looks like I'm professional. So, so then get in touch with me on Facebook. I've got a website, Becs Medium, but it's the same thing. I update on there, but I also do, if anyone wants, I do a little monthly newsletter as well, so they can message me. So they can message me through Becs UK. They want to keep in touch, and I do like a little monthly newsletter that I send out. I use MailChimp, which is a great package. Mm-hmm. Often the emails in people's spam folders, and only about half of them, about a third of them get read even.
So Becs UK is your Facebook page that you use, right? And that's the best way that people can contact you?
Yeah, they want to follow the page and just message me from there.
Okay, cool. I've actually got a website because I started as a writer, a blog writer on this. I know I do paranormal investigations, in homes and spaces. And so I started writing about them and doing videos. So I created a blog, and then I turned it into my psychic medium page, because you have to kind of come out as a psychic and medium. I always say, and I was like, well, this is the second time I've come out. I figured out how to do that. And you kind of put yourself out there. So I turned it into, rather than just stories, which are still there about all these interesting places I've been and cleansings and stuff, to, services, to about my training program, the Academy of Real Magic, and, Q&As that I've done before, a little bit about me, and kind of turned it into a full, website. I also, of course, on Facebook Live, on Facebook is Kevin Paul Psychic Medium on Facebook. Everything is Kevin Paul Psychic Medium. If you want to go to my Instagram page, Kevin Paul Psychic Medium, make it easy. And that's all about my beekeeping. And of course, I put this in.
I've got a new best friend. Claudette lives in Hawaii.
Oh, yes. She's one of my.
She's now my new best friend. She's my new best friend. No, I love her. Whoever she is, I love her. I come to Hawaii.
Yes, she's one of my students, and she's wonderful, and she's developing. She's a developing psychic and medium, and she's from Hawaii. She's from Honolulu, near Oahu, I think is the main island.
Okay, she's my friend now.
Yes, yeah. So she's wonderful. Claudette is wonderful. So those are the things that I do. But the best way to get in touch with me is probably Facebook, and then message me, or you could do it from my website. Instagram is just for fun, just to kind of get my beekeeping photos and videos out there. And Twitter, I have Twitter, but who's on Twitter anymore?
Nice.
And then, do you make honey? Yes, I do make a couple of things from my honey, Jacqueline. I, of course, bottle the honey, but they also, this year I'm doing a propolis tincture, which is the material in the hive that the bees collect from the trees, which is like the sap or the tar. And then I mix it with a real Everclear 90-some% alcohol to get the goodies from that product, which is antibacterial, antifungal, viral, and put it in something you can now put it in drops and gargle with it, or put it on a cut. So I also use the products within the hive. So yeah, that's what I am doing right now. But yeah, I collect the honey. I just got stung yesterday, in the foot. The damn bee climbed up my sock and stung me. So yeah, can we buy anything online? Actually, yes. On my website, I just started the gift shop. Maybe I should put the honey on the gift shop. The gift store. I think gift store, gift shop, because my friends are very crafty, and I said, let's put some fun things together for Christmas. So I think I'll put the honey on the gift shop as well to send out. But because I wanted to do some psychic fairs around town this year, but they all got canceled. I was like, damn it. So that's the best way to get me. And it's always Kevin Paul Psychic Medium. Make it easy. All across, the platforms. And it really started with that website. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go from telling stories about my investigation to, what am I doing and how you can get, in touch with me, what services I offer, all sorts of fun stuff, because it's, we do this, it's all online, social media. You've got to, make it interesting for folks and have good content. And this is.
Let's get that question first. How many hives do you have?
I have 3 hives right now. And every year, some die, you get new ones. So right now I have 3 hives, Tina. What was that?
Liz, do you see spirit, or do you just sense them? Do you work? Are you clairvoyant or clairsentient?
I am clairsentient, clairaudient, and I am clairvoyant, but subjectively. So I'll see it in my mind rather than seeing, the dead, Civil War soldier walking across the living room or in a house. So I will sense it and feel it. It's clairsentient. Clairaudient, I can hear and gather information. Then clairvoyant, I can see it in my mind, whether it be an image. So it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And claircognizant, which is, it just pops into my head, which is I just know the answer. One of my tricks. It's like
clear knowing.
My party trick is my superpower is I can tell the sex of a child in vitro, which is hilarious.
Oh, Julie, I used to have a gift shop. What? I used to have a gift shop, Julie. I haven't got any bees. I don't have bees. I can't sell bees. I don't have bees, Julie.
You have something you can make, right?
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
Autograph your next calendar, the 2021 calendar.
Yeah, I used to off my knickers. I would say, what? My tribe T-shirts. We have tribe. We could do. What are we going to call tribe T-shirts? The tribe. I don't know. The tree tribe. I don't know. Good idea.
Something. Yeah, think of something, Becs. It's part of, your people want to wear, Becs.
Where my no. That's what I was going to say. No, I'm not going down that road. I used to say something. No. Oh, I'm digging a hole for myself. I'm going to behave. Oh dear.
Let's see. What else? We've talked about how we can be contacted. My Instagram page, Facebook page, website, and you being primarily Facebook. And let's see. I do a lot of video content on my website. I interview folks. Do you guys get a show called The Dead Files? An American TV show called The Dead Files. It's an amazing, medium and police officer investigating. And I have interviewed folks from that show to understand what's happened after, the show and after the house has been cleansed and, so on and so forth. So I have some interviews there. It's fun. It's fun to do video. It took me, of course, a while because, nothing like looking at your phone and figuring out, and now you should see the outtakes of my many, opportunities to try to be cutesy in a little video. I'm like, oh shit, I fucked that up. I'm going to try it again for the 30th time. So, it's, you just get more comfortable. Like you have become very comfortable doing your Facebook shows and it's amazing. Like
I've got to say, yes, Penny, I put you in detention because you're naughty. That's why you go in detention. There's a naughty step you will go on sometimes.
Oh. I love it. I love how you talk with your people.
And it's like, there we go. Becs, bring out a bra, a Becs back holder. Very good.
Claudette says, yes, maybe you can YouTube Amy, the dead file. Yes, if you can get, Claudette, if you can find out how we can get Amy to sit for an interview, I'll do a quick interview. I want to know about her background. She'll be perfect for Psychic Mediums Live. Tell us her story, because everyone has a story. And isn't it true that you have to get trained? I mean, you have abilities, but you really have to train and work with these abilities.
Yeah. I think when it comes down to training, I mean, the old days were, you had to go and get the Fab Five. Now it's just, for me, the training is the personal development. It's the medium finding the right place. It's the medium getting that altered state of consciousness. That mean letting go. Find that trust, and then letting the spirit blend, and the easier the blend, the less space between the energies, the spirit, and the more you can just let them narrate their story, let them tell their story. Look, a lot of people say hello to you. A lot of people say hello. Yes, if Kevin wants to come over, Kevin can come over to the UK. If he wants to come over to the UK, if he wants to. Tony wants to come
to the UK right now.
It's Tony. You're a bit kinky, if I may say so, on a Sunday night. But nothing on back. See, but if you have cakes, you can't have a corset. Tony, I don't mean corsets you wear, darling. But Tony, if you're wearing a corset, can't really eat a cake. That's the voice of experience, because I know corsets. Okay, just so you know. Jenna says I bring out the naughty. Yeah, okay.
We know that, Jenna. I've watched it as well. Like, oh, this is great. This is great. That's why you'll play well in the US and Vegas.
Oh, we're naughty. I'll be naughty. Mouse t-shirt. Oh, for goodness sake. Right. If you bring back a mouse, let me tell the story, Kevin. I had a mouse here, and his name became Stifu, STFU, as in shut the fuck up, at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we caught him 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. Eventually, I let him go 3 or 4 miles away. Touch wood, he's not come back. I've had cards given to me with mice on. The latest thing, one of the ladies knitted me a mouse so I didn't feel lonely.
Oh.
I've been knitted. So I've got mouse cards. I've got mouse things here. And so I've actually got my little snow leopard as well that someone bought me. So that's the mouse story. So the mouse isn't, thank goodness, I don't have a mouse here. So when you see the mouse stories coming up, that's what they're talking about. Is mice.
Oh, I see. What other questions do we have for us?
Any questions? Okay.
No, you're nice. It doesn't matter, right?
Yes, the 3 of Pentacles. Yes, that was a naughty one too, wasn't it? Lee, if Kevin comes over, I'll bring him down to your night. He can do a night at your place as well. At the moment, none of us can go anywhere, really, can we? It wasn't a cute mouse, Susan Fraser, and an autograph. You want my autograph? Really, you need to get out more, Susan. You need to get out more. You don't really need my autograph. Really, if you want it, you come. Well, why? But you can. That was the weird. Now that was a strange night. I worked with a very well-known medium, and we finished. And he said, "Have you got a pen?" I went, "What do I want a pen for?" And he said, "Well, take my pen." And so we went out front house where everyone was waiting for him. And because I was the guest medium, I was signing people's programs. That was the weirdest thing, signing about 100 autographs to people who were just, yeah. So yeah, it was.
Get used to it. It's part of your development. That's where I see you going. I'm a psychic and medium. I have a sense of where you're going, my dear.
Yeah, I'll do that. Well, Susan Fraser, if you send me your address, I'll send you a lovely card with my signature in it. If you really want my autograph, you can have it, darling. Honestly, you can. But I really think you should go and see. I think you really maybe see the doctor. No, I'm joking, Susan. But of course, if you want an autograph, of course, I'll send it to you. Oh, here's Tony's got a question. Here we go. Kevin, when was your first experience with the spirit world?
Well, Tony, I think when I was communicating with my uncle in my bedroom, I remember, since I sense, I don't see, I was able to sense, and I had this conversation with my uncle, and I just thought it was just very natural. It was really, I didn't feel it was unusual. It was, now that I look back and God, that's kind of crazy, but it felt very comfortable. That was my first experience with spirit. I was probably maybe 14. So then it was clairsentient. I was able to be able to sense his presence and understand what's going on, and have a communication with feeling and sensing. That was my first experience. I remember at the top of the bunk bed, I was like, oh, I know it's kind of crazy, but that was it was like 13, 14. Thank goodness I didn't see, because I probably would have been scared. I mean, a mouse or a rat running out scares the hell out of me. So I'm good. It's good that I don't see clairvoyantly, outside of my mind.
And this is my favorite book of all time, or one of my favorite books, called The Celestine Prophecy. And Sarah, have you ever read the book called The Celestine Prophecy?
I think back, it's been out for a while, right?
Oh,
Ever. I think I read it back in the 80s, and I've forgotten everything about it. But I know it was a powerful book. And I probably need to reread it, Sarah, because I remember bits and pieces, but a lot of years have gone by. I should probably pick it back up.
Right, I'll answer. Oh, Claudia, I'll do your one next. Let's do another one for Kevin, guys. Because Susan, I'll send you an autograph if you really want it, love. What's the most? Do you mean the most famous person, Sarah Jane, or the most? Do you have a most? Okay, what's your most standout communication spirit? Have you got one, Kevin?
Ooh, the most standout communication. Ooh, Yes, when I'm practicing mediumship early on, it's like I'm trying to get evidence because we're doing evidential mediumship so that the person feels comfortable that we have so and so. And so I was just going through as a young medium, going, okay, and what, and then okay, and how did you die? And this grandmother who I picked up on, this female grandmother, I said, how did you die? And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get something. She said, and I got this in my mind. The clairaudient was, my head was on fire, and I was like, what? And my other side of the brain was like, what the hell? So, but I knew how I got the information. I knew it was like, that's the way I receive information. So I said to the person on the phone, well, she said that her head was on fire, how she died. And the woman was like, oh my God, you got my grandmother. I said, please explain. She says, well, she was shot in the head by the Mexican cartel. And I said, wow, wasn't that an elegant way of saying, I was shot in the head? My head was on fire. And it was just very casual. So that was kind of weird. I mean, I've reunited people with, during COVID, people who've passed from COVID, or even a poor grandmother they couldn't see who was heavy in dementia, still alive, but in dementia. I was able to pick up on her and communicate with her to her daughter, who was unable to communicate with her. And as you know, when they're in that state, we can still read them and we can still gather them as if they had like we talk with past loved ones. You've had that happen, right? People with it's like, oh, she's still alive. I'm like, well, I got her. Let's see what she has to say.
I've had someone who's on a life support machine come through, and Claudette said, "Do I see and hear dead spirits outside my mind?" I'm not clairvoyant, and Claudette, I have a little saying: if a spirit person stood next to me, fully manifested, looking amazing and solid, I'd shit myself, to be honest.
Right. But you would sense it and feel it and gather enough information that way.
It's cool. How I view it, I always say it's like I sense them, I feel them, and I can get to know them, Claudette, and then I can share their story. I get some, and with me, I know a lot of mediums say it's always love and light, it's all pink. It might be all that lovely stuff, but with me, they come through the way you remember them, the way you had interaction. That's how it works for me. So if you've got a nan Claudette who's a miserable so-and-so, horrible, she'll come through that way. And that's how the healing can then manifest, because ultimately mediumship is healing. And Jessica's got a question for us both. Have you ever felt the presence of a famous person?
I have not. I don't.
I've got.
Which one did you get?
I got Freddie Mercury.
Oh, cool.
And what happened was it was a great lesson, because it was nothing to do with me. It was in a pub in a place called Dagenham, and it wasn't. I started going, I've got Freddie Mercury lookalike, because it was Freddie Mercury. Everything about him was Freddie. It's a lookalike. And a woman, and she's actually someone I know, or someone I did know. And she went, I can take that. That's nice of you, but no, I'm struggling. She said, no, we were friends. I said, well, he's here in a Hawaiian shirt. She went, that's the photograph I've got on my phone. And I said, well, it can't. I was still down. I said, it can't be Freddie Mercury, because he is so shy. He's so quiet. And she went, that was him. And it was a lovely between two friends, because it just, it was nothing to do with me. It was just, he had the chance to. And what I think facilitated it was she'd been sorting out her photos on the phone of her and him. She used to drive him around before he was really famous. So that's my little. I've had some gangsters and stuff come through, and have one this afternoon. I did a little show this afternoon, and someone's dad came through who was a bit not nice. But he bought one. He bought one of the crazed one on gangsters, one of the gangsters through with him, and I went, oh, you scare me. I've met him before. He's come. One of these grey boys have come through before the craze, and he scared the crap out of me. Then he did that to me this afternoon. So it's very, even though his spirit's like, oh, it was great, total politeness. And Sarah's got another question. Oh, Kevin, do you have a particular guide you work with when you're working on your psychic mediumship?
I do not. I do not have a particular guide that I work with. I know some people do. I do not. I'm sorry, Sarah. I wish I had a really cool story about an American Indian guy but but I have not. I haven't kind of gone down that path yet. How about you, Bex? Do you work with a particular guide?
I've got guides. I was
Guides?
I've got a team, and yes, they've now got names. But I've got to tell you, Sarah, I was the biggest, not skeptic. I always believe we're guided, and for me, it's energy. So there are higher beings, and I thought, oh, it'd be a beam of light. And I was like, when it comes, I didn't buy into it as Native American Indian stuff, and it was didn't buy it. I thought, what? And I was on a course years ago, and we're doing a meditation, and I'm suddenly in, I don't know, high in the mountains in Spain or Italy, and this little man in like a white trousers and shirt went, "I'm Mikel, I am your guide." And I went, "You've got to be taking the piss." And that was it. I thought, okay, whatever. And then a bit later on, I was in another course, I was on another workshop, and we were doing a meditation. And I'm not a science fiction nerd, but I do like science fiction. And I love something called Stargate SG-1. Don't you remember Stargate SG-1, Kevin? And I'm meditating, and this is Asgard, alien Asgard comes and goes, "Hello, I'm Ari. I'm Ari, your Asgard. I'm your guide for the day." I thought, oh, you could just do one. And those that know me a little bit, I don't think I said this, Kevin. I respect spirit so much, and I live for my job, but I'm a frigging petulant child. When I get to the other side, I'm going to let spirit naughty step for 100 years. Right? So I told Harry the Asgard, fuck off. And then the next time, or there was something else, I won't say what happened next because that was a bit naughty, but the last time, one of the times then he came to me, this tall, black, very, very black, gorgeous, gorgeous Maasai warrior. I went, "Yeah, you're dude." I went, "Okay, this is a bit."
I'll take you.
"What's your name?" "Yeah, I'll take you. You come to me like that. That's gorge. Tall, gorgeous man. Young, and Maasai warrior, the stick and the just stunningly beautiful." And I said, "So what should I call you?" He said, "I'll call me Mike." I said, "You're Maasai warrior?" He went, "Yeah, call me Mike." "What, Michael?" said, "Oh, yeah, as in the Archangel." He went, "Yeah, as in the Archangel." So I joke and laugh with him. And since then, there's been another one come through, and he's very Aramaic. He came through, a psychic artist called Patrick Gamble. And a friend of mine said, "That's Matthew," whoever Matthew is. So, okay. And I've got another one called, and he's more like, I've got another guide, or ones that I know of, and he's, if you like, Colombian, Peruvian, that sort of ilk, but really, really pre-Ice Age, like going way back. And he's a miserable bugger. He's a miserable bugger. Don't talk to me much. He smiles occasionally.
Well, if you grew up in the Ice Ages, you'd be miserable too, right?
So yeah. So that's see, I just think when someone describes a guide, are they really that, or is that how it helps you understand them?
Right.
Was my guide really an Asgard? Was he really a Spanish waiter? Is he really a gorgeous Maasai warrior? Or does it not matter? He's just there. He's just there, and they're part of my team. And it's like, us here, like Kevin, myself, others, we have to deal with muggles every day, don't we? They've only got to deal with me. So it's yeah. Kevin, have you ever done past life regression?
I have not, Julie. Have you, Bex?
I've done it briefly. There's an amazing lady between, I think the Violet Flame lady, I can't remember her name. I know if Darren's still here and if Mandy Conifer, they'll remember her name, but I'm rubbish with names. But there is a beautiful, I've met a few times, and she's meant to be amazing. And when I get a chance, I will get it done. I've had it done once years and years ago, and like a lifetime ago, and it felt really quite real, but I would like to do it again. So please don't think I'm being disrespectful to anyone about their guides. I just think our guides will come close to us often the way that we will easiest recognize them. Mm-hmm. And here's a question for people. Here's a question, okay, for anyone who's really into this. How much of our guides is actually an extension of our own higher consciousness still in spirit?
I was just thinking.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mandy Connor. It's Hillary Violet Flame. She's amazing. Yeah. Jackie, have you just say you've done ghost hunts?
Yes, ma'am. I have written about them. I've done the little video clips on my website, kevinpaulpsychicmedium.com. When I was in Vietnam last year, I went to the Hilton. What is it called? The Hilton where the POWs were. The Hanoi Hilton in Hanoi, and I did a video of like what I felt, what I sensed. I was getting all this residual energy in that location. Siem Reap in Cambodia, I did a video, and I actually connected with a couple of a Buddhist monk and a Hindu priest who gave me a tour, and they were fighting the whole time amongst each other. It's interesting. So I did a video of that, or I'll write about things. So yes, it's a lot of fun. They're exciting. I like to open up in these really cool places and say, okay, who's here? What's here? What am I going to pick up? Does anyone have a story to tell? And I write about it, and I, share it because it's fascinating to hear and this one particular story about this African-American slave that was basically entrapping the slave owner in the basement, his family above, and how I cleansed that house of all that crazy energy. That one's an interesting story, and that's on my website. I wrote about. It's under my paranormal investigations section, I think is what it's called. So it's definitely there.
What do you feel? What meditation do you think would work best for PTSD? Have you got an idea at all? What do you think?
Oh, PTSD is so when you've had trauma in your life and you're trying to release the trauma, right?
Yeah, I think so, pretty much.
It's affecting you, like in the war, and something happens. What meditation? I say any meditation. The key is, what meditation do you feel comfortable with? I like guided meditations where some beautiful voice that you have to like the voice will take you through a meditation with probably a message at the end. And I would recommend giving that a try, because then you don't have to think, oh, I have to sit here and go, or do a mantra or something unusual. But having someone with a pleasant voice take you through a journey during a meditation is, for me, very powerful. And I say, check it out and just Google, a guided meditation for relaxation, a guided meditation for releasing negative energy, those kind of things.
And also, recently, I know he suffers from PTSD, and he said the chakra meditations have worked for him. So,
yeah, so everybody's a little different. The key is find out what works. Try different things and see how you feel afterwards. But I would say guided meditations first, and then where else are you drawn to it, and just figure it out. Like, it's your spiritual journey. One prescription does not fit everybody, right?
Yeah, I think PTSD is such a personal thing as well.
Yeah,
and I it's a personal journey, and I think really it's a case, Jessica, of I don't know if you come to my morning meditation, but you go on YouTube, and there's probably millions and millions of choices of meditation, and then see where you get from there. See where you get from there. Here's a good question. So
to guide you, right?
Right, Darren does trance mediumship. He's a trance medium. I sit in trance medium. So Darren's asking.
I've been trained in courses that were trance courses. The instructor would come in back in the old days, in the 80s. The lights would go out, and all these teachers and ascended masters would teach the course. I have never been trained in trance, so I do not do. So I can't say I do trance. It's not that it's definitely, I know, a different way. And I've seen people do trance, and it definitely is amazing to hear the messages, but I have never personally done it. Darren does Darren do it, you say?
He demonstrates trance mediumship. I do trance. I don't demonstrate it. I mean, I did a week with Eamon last year. I did a whole week of trance with Eamon and Darren Britton. It was amazing. It was just fantastic.
I'd love to try.
When you sit in the power, when I come over, we'll do some. When you sit in the power and you let that trance, just because it's different. So, in case people wonder what's up with trance, when I do my mediumship, it's active, it's interactive. I'm going to meet them. When you're in trance, you release more and more, and you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And so you get a control, or you get someone come over, and then suddenly you get overshadowed. There are some amazing trance meetings in this country. Darren is really, really good. I saw him work this year.
Nice.
You're welcome. And and someone asked me a question. Oh, Claudette asked me a question. What was the question? A word of what you feel I need today, if it's possible. Yes, Claudette, you need to become my friend. You need to invite me immediately to Hawaii, and I'll give you personal, what do you need? Readings.
Claudette, send him some of your Hawaiian candies that she sent to me.
Right. Claudette, I'm going to say something to you, and I get in trouble, right? You don't need me to give you a word for what you need today. What you need from me is to show you, and I'm sure you're doing it with Kevin, is to sit in that quiet, let your conscious chattering mind shut up for a bit, let your human body physically relax, let your emotions just surrender and relax, and then let your higher conscious, let you, the authentic you, the eternal you, say to you, what do I need today? Because I could do what you need for today, but it's that old saying, if I give someone a fish, they eat their day. But you teach someone how to fish, they eat every day. That's an old saying, I think it's it. And that's basically it, Claudette. It's only my view, because I'm, but you better than I'll ever know you. I don't know if Kevin agrees, but that for me is what I try and do through saying, well, yeah, if you're sitting in the quiet, you know yourself better than I can never know you. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So that was clever, Claudette, but that's how
it's right on, Becs.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Oh, what time is it? What time? Wendy, meditation is 9:00 every morning on Becs UK. You can pop in. Trance. We covered that question about trance. What's the best thing you love in your job, Kevin?
Oh, the best thing I love to do is, especially with mediumship, for example, for mediumship, I'd like to be able to paint back that reunion and allow some healing. So bring the person a reunion with their past loved one, provide them some healing, and that's my best. That's what I really love doing. This is a healing ministry, so I love allowing my abilities to provide some healing, to touch their soul, and I'm just the middleman in these mediumship readings. And in psychic, I like to be able to help inspire people with their readings and talk about where they're at, where they're going, and help them understand that yes, we can talk about their future and where you're headed right now. This is where you're, but I want to put you in the driver's seat rather than you being in the passenger seat and figure out, where am I going next? Where's this car taking me? I want you to at least put a hand on the steering wheel or get into the driver's seat and drive yourself and learn how to manifest what you want in life. And that's really taking control of your future.
And I like exactly what Kevin said. I'm going to add for me is I'm a bit weird, Felicity. I love it. I love banter. I love a heckler. And for me, the hardest thing is working with skeptics. The hardest thing is working with those that come along going, what a load of shit. Show me. Or the guys that are dragged along by their girlfriends because the girlfriend promised them something later on, But for me, it's when something, let's say a dad comes through, and it happened to me the other week, there's a bloke going, you ain't going to make me cry, mate. And I said, well, a couple of things. One, don't call me mate, because I haven't got a willy anymore. And two, never say never. Well, the last link was his mum. And yeah, so for me, what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is when I can share with people that this is just normal. What we do is normal. Yes, it's because it's only that people don't realize it's normal, that we're a spirit and a soul in this body. Then we leave the body and we want to be reunited. We have a reunion. So that's the toughest part, but also the best part, if that makes sense. And Vicky Clark's asked a question twice. So where's she gone? Hold on, Vicky Clark, you asked a question. Do spirits come through when invited or randomly? I would really like to know. But Kevin, I might have to ask. Kevin, you'll go first.
Do spirits come through when invited? Both. You know, like in mediumship, they will come randomly, or if we want to speak with someone specifically, we can do that too in certain versions of mediumship. It's called on demand. Like, I would like to talk to my grandmother, or we open up and say, okay, whoever's coming. So in this case, both. I do when I'm doing mediumship, both. I can do either one. How about you, Becs?
Do
you do on demand?
Well, if you mean Vicky, if you mean to like bother me when I'm walking down the shops, no, they're better not. I can do one.
Oh yeah, no, not when we're.
When I was first, is there anyone around me now, Rowena? No, there is. If there is, Rowena, I couldn't tell you because I'm not in my power. I'm not one of those people who go, who's here? I don't work that way. I'm adding to your Vicky's question as well. So, are there spirits around? Of course they are. Where else would they be? I've probably got some of my family watching tonight. You've got your family around you. Why? Because that's where they're going to be. Because it's your family, right? But I don't invite. I've got to deal with spirit. If it's an emergency, yeah. Other than that, jog on. I'm not. It's like I worked this afternoon. Did my bit for spirit. Did a couple of hours. Some beautiful connections. Beautiful afternoon. This is my chill out time with my friend Kevin. Yeah, but taking it a stage further, if you said to me right here and now, Bex, here's £100,000, get my name right now, I can't because I'm not working. It's a bit like an opera singer. Is a way, an opera singer. If you said an opera singer, sing a song now, they could sing a song, but it wouldn't be as good as if they warmed their voice up.
Right. Yeah.
Athlete. If you said to a football player, play a game of football, he'd do a kickabout, but he couldn't play a Premier League game. That's the way I look at it. You know, if someone's having practice, yeah, but if you're doing it at the level that I respectfully, I'm doing it. I do it professionally, and so does Kevin. It's a case like, well, I've got to make sure I do it properly, and that's my personal deal with spirit.
Yeah, I'm
but
not.
Again, you know, that's why I don't go along. No, you know, there's a certain medium in America. She walks into shops. And she goes, "Oh, I've got your mum," and then you look closely at it, and the woman is wearing a microphone.
Exactly. So, it's well. You know, I mean, I know TV. It's like, okay, I want you to go in. Everybody's already been pre-cleared, and you may read these people and make it look like you're walking about. And that's really poor form for psychic mediums, is to give a message to someone without them asking for it, is what we've been taught. And I go around life typically closed until I'm ready to work, then I open up. That's the way I work. And those people who are always open, I try to teach, okay, you really need to protect yourself and close and learn to do this on demand. Okay, it's time to open. Let's work, rather than always being affected by spirit. That's not so.
Sorry, Kevin. When I was first developing, I'd take it any time, but now you're doing it, but Sarah's been cracking skeptics. Must be the biggest buzz. Yes, it is.
They're easy to convert, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the hardest thing, because if you've got someone in front of you and you're saying, "I know it's a murder," and they go, "No, well, I know it is." There's a blue car involved, and they go, "No," and they come up to you afterwards when you've looked a bit of a prat, but you know you're right, and they go, "Yeah, it was a murder, but I couldn't say anything." Well, I once did a show. Well, I once did a night in Plaistow, in the middle, and you know, Plaistow's like gangland place. And someone come through who was shot. Told me it's the bloke behind the bar. Well, I didn't mention that bit, but when I mentioned about the person getting murdered, the whole place just went deadly silent.
Right.
So Jackie, Jackie said, "Do I ever get scared on the platform?" No, not now. I tell you why, Jackie. It's what I do. You know, if you put me in front of 1,000 people, that's out of my comfort zone, because I'm not used to 1,000. But not that I ever do 1,000. But if you put me in front of a normal crowd, then no, or a big crowd, no. But if you said, "Here's another," okay, see example. Let's say Michael Mack said, "Here, Bex, be my guest. There's 5,000 people." I'd shit a brick.
Yeah, how do you do 5,000 people? How do you read? And it's kind of crazy.
You couldn't, because you're not really.
Platform is much bigger in England than is in the US. We don't have that many opportunities to do platform in America. So, Jacqueline, yes, I teach. I love teaching beginners how to build a wonderful foundation. I call it the Academy of Real Magic on my website. It tells you all about it if you're interested. But I love to teach. I really do. I'm a coach and teacher naturally. I'm a gardener of people and things, and I like to help develop you, make you be the best you can be.
Tracy's gone, I have a family member who I believe contacted me through music and medium told me I've got 2 on radio. For me, that, yeah. Well, not that specifically one I haven't heard, but one word validations, I suppose so.
Sure.
But that's your personal one, Tracy, isn't it? It's your personal one.
I agree.
That's an interesting question.
Do any spirits take? No, because I always clear that. I was like, once I finish, I close, and so it's good form to go. Okay, time to release, time to close, and then move on. That's the way I teach. Is no, I don't allow them to stay with me. Do you?
In my case, fuck off. they try and stay with me. It's my bubble. I'm saying my enough space in my bubble as it is. No, they don't. They really don't.
No,
because
not for us.
Being serious for a second, they haven't come for me. I'm the mobile phone. That's the metaphor. That's the analogy. And Kevin and I are mobile phones, and they were literally use me as a mobile phone. I get to know. The one thing I never do, I never use past tenses. So I say they are like this, they are that, because I'm meeting them usually. Right. I do it once. I'm usually meeting them for the first time, and I get to know them. Some of them don't even like me. They're not all going to like me. And people go, "What are you talking about?" So, and I say to all of you out there, "Do you like everyone you ever meet?" And they go, "No." "Do you like all your family?" "Well, I'm not going to like all your family either, you know." So no, being serious, that they're not with me. They've come for you. Here's a question for Sarah Jane. She's naughty, Sarah Jane. Oh, Kevin, what do you do to unwind, relax, and shut off? Any reference to his dancing days, Sarah Jane? I know what you're asking him. So if you want to mention your dancing, you can do so. But I know what Sarah Jane, she's being naughty.
What do I do? No, to shut off. All I have to do is the intention to shut off, and I shut off. I'm, not working. I'm going to shut off from psychic medium connection work. It's just a mental thought. It's my intention. I close, and then for me to relax, I'll watch television or go for a bike ride, go out with my friends, have a cocktail, just normal stuff. But I shut down when I shut down, and I basically disconnect the phone line, the mobile phone line, if I'm doing mediumship. But sometimes I get all, worked up, and I just have to kind of chill my mind and do those kind of basic stuff just to get back into life.
Yeah, I do my yoga every morning. I've got a lovely yoga class I go to most mornings.
Good for you. I wish I could do it.
I do fine.
Nude yoga before.
Yeah, I find at the end of a night, especially if I've got a long drive home, it's like any performance, you're not careful, crash, and that's when the sugar cravings kick in. That's when you could eat a cheese sandwich and eat 6 of them. You can eat 1 bar of chocolate and eat 12 bars. So that's the thing. So I tend to find a lot of my own company a lot. But for me, it is really just I've got my yoga in the mornings, and yeah, I guess that's it really. And
have a cocktail or two, relax.
Over lots of 1 or 3. Let's do that. We've been.
Remember that you came after the show. That's when we sat down and talked and drank. We got class in the morning and but that's okay. That's great.
And you saw me get mad at someone in the bar, told him a rude word. You've seen it. Oh, Jessica, what a great question. Have either ever been to Newfoundland? I have been to Newfoundland, not for work. Oh God, I can't believe it. I went to a Christopher Burr concert in Newfoundland. Christopher Burr, most of you know how much I love him. And what I will share very quickly is how I got to Canada for a Christopher Burr concert. And Lorraine was here earlier, so I don't know if she's still here. I did a show, at Max Bar, which I talk about a lot, a young boy came through. He was 7 or 8, and he rolled down a hill, ran down a hill, hit by a car. It's his sister. And the only thing I could really, what they were referencing was that there was a toy, a big intercity railway, like locomotive toy thing that was really important. Little message, and that was it. I thought, but the woman who took it said, "I can take that. That's my best friend's younger brother." And I got the 8. So lovely. So I got a message from Lorraine saying, "Thank you so much. I've got his train set, the intercity thing, under my bed or under his." So that was lovely, and that was it. So we moved on, and then I don't know, say a year later, whenever it was, Christopher brought out a list of where he was going on tour, and it wasn't the UK. There was Canada, and I just put something on Facebook moaning, "How dare he be in Canada, not doing a UK tour?" And then Lorraine wrote to me and said, where is he?" And I said, "Well, he's in Nova Scotia, it's Halifax." She said, "Well, I live 20 minutes from that theatre. If you want to fly out, my husband and I will put you up for 2 weeks.
Nice.
We can borrow the car and have a holiday." So I went out. So thanks to Spirit, really, I flew out to Canada. I went and saw 3 or 4 concerts in Nova Scotia of Christopher, then got a plane to Newfoundland. And I was chatting to a lady from Newfoundland last night. I was a guest on her show last night. And I absolutely fell in love with the place. Absolutely fell in love with the place, and the concert was great too. Long way to go for a concert, but yeah. But that's my experience in Newfoundland. And I went on, and take a stage further quickly. I booked a boat trip to go look at icebergs, and I was the only one booked on it until I went down to the quayside, and there's the whole Christopher backing band there, his band, and that's how I get to meet some people. There's Madison on here, and she's become one of my best friends all through going to Newfoundland. So there you go. Always, and that's what Spirit's like. Everything is multi-layered, always multi-layered, always. So well, Rona, I'm not sure if you're in Newfoundland, but yes, it is Newfoundland. I know you, and I've toured in Nova Scotia, loved it, and I remember traveling around to the west where the ferry from the US stopped, and it was all like ghost town. Oh. So yeah, lots of love to Newfoundland. I love Newfoundland. Absolutely love the place. So that's just waffling. So do you do mainly private sittings, Kevin?
I do, primarily private sittings, over the phone or FaceTime. So I do those.
This man does private sittings. Kevin Paul, psychic medium. If you want, I'm not. I've never been for him, but he's my mate, and we've studied at college, and he's lovely, and I even think he's quite cute. So yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, so cute.
You might get 4 or 5 people trying. So yes, so give him a try. Do I like Christopher? Oh, I've been known to sing the old Christopher song on Christmas morning. That's what we're playing on the loop, or not actually. George's favourite new person. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I love Newfoundland. Food's amazing. Not understand, really nice hotel as well. Yes, so Christmas morning we're doing meditation. Here's an interesting question. Kevin, do you work with angels as well?
I do not. Do you, Beck?
No.
No. I just, working with it's like, why do I need a third party to help me when I can make connections to do this myself? I can talk to spirit guides and have them help me in my life, but I don't need them to help me in my, that's the way I look at it. I don't ask them to help me in my readings. I know some mediums, they do, but I do personally.
I mean, I believe in the angelic realms.
Sure, me too.
And I believe in the Pleiades and Sirius, and I go into all that. But would a higher being from the Pleiades constellation, or one of the higher violet flame beings, want to get involved with me chatting to someone's mum with her daughter? Not there's not
better things to do, right?
It's not so important for the mother and daughter in that reunion, but an angelic being going, well, that's lovely. They might observe it, but would they get involved? I don't feel so.
That's me.
Yeah. And Sarah's like, you are my angels. Yeah. Oh, this is a great question, Kevin. Kevin, would you say that there are more believers in the afterlife across America than skeptics these days?
Oh, good question. I'm going to guess the answer here. I would say more believers I would say 60%, maybe. It's not like a huge amount. No, I say maybe my guess is 60%. I don't get a sense that we're really spiritually evolved here in the United States. I know that for sure. We're just not very evolved spiritually, but many people do. But the young people probably are like, not so much. So that's a tough one, Sarah. But I just know here in America we're not very spiritually evolved.
You've got a very fundamental Christian movement developing, right-wing Christian fundamental developing. If she gets to be on the judiciary, that I was reading about that. So I saw Trump's nomination for the next not Senate, on the
for the Supreme Court.
Cool. And I thought she looks nice until you read her background. But to become a lawyer is just.
I haven't seen it at all. You know more than I right now.
No, all it was, it came up and I thought, oh, young woman, but she's so far right wing. It's all about the kingdom of God and blowing up everyone. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's our evil king, So.
I don't think
I wouldn't expect anything different from this man.
You might be listening. But no, it's any more? Oh, okay.
Interesting questions, trick questions. Where's my water? I'm out of water. I need a cocktail.
Oh, okay. And this is going to. We might differentiate on our question. We might differentiate our answers on this. Okay. Rowan has asked, do sunsets get stuck in certain places and can't leave? Right, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
No. Right, Rowena. This is what I've been taught and what I believe to be true. Spirit are ultimate intelligence. Right? Mm-hmm. Spirit take meticulous care with every single passing. So when you pass, spirit are there. I can't imagine God. Let's say let's make a name up. Let's call this bloke Fred. Fred passes over, right? Spirit are there. And God goes to an archangel. Goes to Archangel Mark. Goes, oh, Mark, where's Fred? And Mark goes, I don't know, God, don't know, Gov. Fred was here a minute ago. I've lost him. I think he's stuck. It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. I'm not saying the energy of what's occurred somewhere won't play back or won't be there. If you walk into someone's house, how many times you walk into someone's house and go, oh, I don't like it here?
I think we've got Becs frozen. Becs, can you hear us? 1, 2, 3. Well, while she is being unfrozen, this is, who knows the real answer. I feel that they're seconds. I say that they can leave. They can leave. I know some people work with.
I lost it.
There she is. I was answering the question while you were putting on the makeup or something. I thought you were doing
I just went crazy.
Powder or something.
Yeah, I did the powder. So that's my answer, and it flies in the face of so many other mediums. Right, but to me, this is what Jackie Wright's mentor taught me, and it makes so much sense. The energy might stay there, but why would a spirit be stuck in something physical when the spirit is not physical?
Mm-hmm. The way I look at it is their energy. They may have, for whatever reason. This is what I think. This is what I think right now. And as we develop, our thoughts change because we have different experiences. I have come upon those energies that, for whatever reason, I'm picking up on their energy in that location. Whether they are hanging out there and maybe not leaving, or hanging out there to visit with me, to give a story. Who's for me? But I do pick up on their energy. I can communicate with them. And sometimes they feel perhaps like they need to do things, and they haven't, there's unfinished business, for example, and maybe they're coming back a lot, or maybe, so they may appear to be stuck, but in fact, they're more around in that location because they feel like they've got unfinished business, or they don't want to give up on something, but they can always leave. And I've encouraged that energy to leave that space, and not to come back. So I don't know whether they stick there smoking a cigarette, hanging out, watching TV with us, or their presence. It's hard to tell, but I have picked up on energy.
I don't think they're not stuck, and there's no, I can't leave. Look,
Right.
when I cross over, I'm going to keep an eye on my son because I love him. I'm going to keep an eye on my grandkids. I don't see them. Well, I love them. I don't see them, but I love them. But will I keep an eye on my great grandkids? No, because I've got no physical connection. Well, I'll probably see my great grandkids when I cross over before they're even born. You're going to get really deep and go down a rabbit hole, you know. But if they want to, but they are not stuck, because spirit. Now, I'm not talking about if you've got people who got involved in dark stuff. I'm talking about nice, normal, lovely people. Right. That's my view, because it makes no sense to me. Because spirit, if I know spirit's ultimate intelligence, whether it be a guide, an angel, or an intergalactic being, wherever that fits in, they are far more intelligent than I could ever imagine. I'm part of that intelligence, but I'm in this physical body at the moment, and I cannot get my head around that spirit. Go, no, I believe that one's stuck. It makes no. You might want to stay close to your mum. You might want to stay close to your daughter, and absolutely. But also remember, if you want to look at recorded experiences, sometimes when you see ghosts, and let's say you go to a haunted house, everyone sees a Roman soldier walk through a wall, through the other wall, every night at midnight. Well, that's not actually him. That's a playback of the energy.
It's a residual.
If there's no interaction. This is why I'm personally don't do investigations, because I've done a couple and I've led a couple and I've found them boring because nothing happened.
It can be a bit boring, right?
Yeah, people saying to me, make them get angry. I'm not making them get angry. And if it's just like a playback, nothing will happen. And if it's someone who's decided he wants to hang around, he wants to stay there for whatever reason, I'm not worrying. It's his manner. So I've done a couple. And one or two freaked the crap out of them. I mean, they live in daylight something. So, it's like, oh. But when you look at things like Respectfully, Most Haunted, where, they pretty much told you got to be possessed every time. It's a TV show, Can we change the subject completely? Natalie's, trust Natalie.
Oh, we saw Natalie at our after dark.
Yes, that's Natalie. Could you please?
Meaning, okay.
Dan Hember, exactly right on your table.
Where's the camera? Okay, these are all my hobbies. So I'm a gardener, so you see a lot of of the earth kind of plants. Let's see, where's my elbow? There's some flood. There's a honeybee. There's a honeybee, and finding the damn camera. There it is. There's a little honeybee there. I have a honeybee. God, this is so hard to do. There's another honeybee. I'm sorry, folks. I haven't figured out how to do. It's like backing up a truck, or something this way. So it's all my hobbies: beekeeping, gardening, and then I have up here, or things that fly, birds, and butterflies for my mother, and just kind of. I love outdoors. I'm a gardener in life. I like to garden as well. And so those are kind of, and on this side, it's just kind of, there's a dolphin. There's a little dolphin in there. And it's kind of a tribal. So it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Joanne just made a good point. So let's go back to what we were talking about. Maybe it's fear of meeting the source. But see, the thing with that, Joanne, you're basing that on how the brain is interpreting that. The spirit is source. Our spirit is from source. It's had this physical experience here. So it goes back to source. So once we've released the brain and all those emotions worried about going back to source, or I don't think just aren't there because it's not of the spirit. There's a memory of the experience we're on this earth, but it's a memory. Yeah. And I don't know what you think on that. What do you think, Kevin?
As the question, are we fearful of meeting spirits that have behaved poorly?
No, what she was saying is that could a spirit be stuck because the spirit is scared of meeting the source or meeting God because of how they behaved on earth?
I don't know the real answer. I mean, I know people are afraid of and do weird things. Oh, I don't know. It's a good question. Good question. I certainly have connected with those I felt were kind of stuck, and needed encouragement to leave the space. I don't know if they were stuck or just hanging out there, or no idea. But I kind of like, okay, go search out your loved ones, call for them, look for them, and basically get the hell out of here because you're not doing any good here. You need to move on. Bex, have you ever done a Ouija board, Tony?
Yeah, we have done a Ouija board. I have as an experiment, but they're boring.
They're boring, yeah. We can do better job than the damn Ouija. And the Ouija board is the spirits on the Ouija board are so dyslexic, aren't they? They don't know how to spell.
And if you think about it, if we had this interview on a Ouija board, we'd be here till Christmas.
Oh my
5
God.
years.
Yeah.
If you go to spirit, this is an experiment in love and light. Can we do an experiment? Yeah, I was actually on a weekend with this tutor. This is 15 years ago. And we did, as an experiment, on a Ouija board. And my nan came through, but it was beautiful. But it was as an experiment. And then on a weekend I was away this year, we did, the lady who runs it did a human Ouija board. It was brilliant, but it's done as an experiment in love and light. Would you use a Ouija board as your main means of communication? Not unless you've got all night for one connection.
Oh my God, yeah, that's annoying. It's really annoying.
Tony, loads of questions. Oh, so have you ever done a Ouija board, by the way, Kevin?
Maybe when I was a kid, but I was bored with it.
Yeah. So you go first this time, Kevin. Tony's asked another question. Do you ever have spirits come through who've had mental illnesses in this lifetime?
Of course.
Yeah.
Substance abuse, people have taken their lives because of substance abuse, people who were absolutely horrible mothers and fathers, people who were deaf. I mean, you can get anything and everything, right, Bex?
Yeah, and how I work with them, and again, it's only my view, and Kevin might disagree with me, when you cross over, anything of the mind has gone, or that is wrong. If you had if you had dementia, Alzheimer's, it's gone. Right. If any of you come across a medium and goes, I've got your daddy, he's still a bit foggy with his Alzheimer's, punch him in their third eye with a wet lettuce, because it's crap. So if someone's got illnesses in their lifetime, Tony, they will take the memory of that, of what they had, and the memory of maybe the interaction they had in the physical world, but they don't cross over with the mental illness because it's of the mind, and we lay the mind to rest. It's like if someone says, I've got your dad, he's still got his broken leg. No, he hasn't. But this morning, I was trying your nan's manky feet's better. Are her manky feet really better? Well, no, there's no manky feet to get better because the manky feet got laid to rest. Well, actually, they're laid to rest tomorrow. Finish tomorrow. But it can bring a validation. But no. So, yes, I get people come through. I work a lot with suicides because I spent most of my life being suicidal, so I kind of get it. But are they suicidal when they've gone home? No, because they've gone home.
But what's interesting is I say the way I look at it is they're presenting information to me so that the person I'm communicating with understands that I have so-and-so. Yes, I had a mental illness, and this person is going to know that I had who I am because I'll talk about the mental illness that I had while I was alive. And so they're just using it as a reference point or evidence so that you understand, or the person understands that I actually have Uncle John who, had difficulty with certain things, and he doesn't now, but that's the way she's going to know me if I tell her I, had this, that, or the other, but it doesn't now.
I've got 5 questions. What does it mean, Kevin, when you're first, you go first, you want to, buddy? What does it mean you have a flickering light?
You have an electrical problem, probably.
Yeah. There you go, pretty much. Can it be a sign? Yes, but usually get an electrician. Very, very good. Yeah.
Switch the light bulb or have the electrician look at it. Someone horrible in spirit. No, I don't think that they're horrible, but they will communicate how bad they were, and they will come maybe with an apology. But they'll describe themselves as they were because that's the best way, you know. Angie's going to know me because I was horrible, and she's not going to know me if I say, "Oh, this person was so wonderful." No, he was a miserable person. So they're just giving me information of who they were.
And remember, the healing can manifest from them being honest. It doesn't mean you've got to forgive them, but they come through recognizing, acknowledging what they were like, and helping you sometimes release any hatred, not for them but for yourself. So that's how it works. And Julie's got another question there, Kevin. What is your what about me, Julie? Can I answer it as well? Cheek. What is Kevin's funniest reading he's ever given? Do you remember your funniest reading you've ever given?
The funniest reading from a mediumship standpoint? We're talking about the mediumship, right? The funny. Yeah. I would get the personality of like someone's mother who was just a hoot. Someone who was, cut up, had, could cuss. I mean, I would get her personality and her mannerisms, or the way she would say things, and the way she'd be so catty, or the way she'd be, bitchy, and she would come through and it would make me laugh. And so those are kind of fun to get those, sassy women who were, when they were on Earth, funny, bitchy, sassy, whatever. And it would make me laugh, especially when they would cuss or they would say certain things. So it's the personality that makes me laugh. And I'll get
they swear a lot with me because I swear a little bit.
Sometimes. Right.
I don't remember reading, but probably the one that I remember forever was last night on here, online.
Oh, no.
Cheryl's just done it. Yes, I am going to mention the flake story, Cheryl. I had a nan come through last night. Mm-hmm. Who every other word was the C word. She didn't care, and she's chatting to her. I think it was the one she said, "What time do you call this?" And I got the daughter up. I think it's the one that came up on screen. And the nan was talking about, she's got a favourite chocolate bar. Yes, she has. It's the flake. Yes, it is, out of the fridge. I mean, this is good. Until the nan showed me how she ate the flake in front of people. The flake is a very phallic-shaped chocolate, and it crumbles. And she would eat it ice cold out of the fridge in front of people, and she'd called it her blowjob. So that's one of the funniest. That's one of the funnest that I've had in a while.
Yes, and so it would melt in her mouth, right, as she worked.
And that was probably, and I couldn't get that out of my head. And then I think she's the same through trainers, and very specific. She threw trainers at the girl's head as well. Now, this is a bit of a deep question. Okay, so if you've been married for more than once,
you love them both. What does that mean? Who would you be? Who would you be with when you pass?
Oh, what a good question, Susan.
Why not both, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. Remember, Susan, when you crossed over, there isn't the possessiveness. There's not all the sex. Well, I'm going to sex. My mum has sex on the other side. My dad, but I think people come to our lives for a reason at a time, and I think the answer will be don't worry about it. We're not both. Why can't there be love eternal?
And you love them both. How will that work? Who knows how it works, but I wouldn't be surprised if both energies were there. For example, when she, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, here's another one. So, Susan Johnson, basically, to answer your question was, I think one might be a song. Oh, that's good. Oh, here's one. Yes, thanks for that.
Grow up in spirit. Why not? Growing in spirit is what. Spirit is all about is growing and learning and reviewing life that they had on Earth. So there's no reason why. It's just an energy, and the baby or children, they just didn't completely develop as a human, but that energy, I feel, is in spirit, is definitely growing. And I don't know, growing up, does it always grow up in spirit? It's not growing up. It's not like they, get older. It's just the energy is is always learning and growing in spirit, and doesn't matter the age, it's the energy. What do you think? That one's a tough one, Penny.
Tony, it's a gift from a very special friend of mine, the necklace. So it's a very gift from a special friend. Right, Penny, only my experience. First thing we've got to do is lose the reference to the thought of growing up.
Right.
When we lay a child or a baby to rest, we're sadly laying the body to rest. The spirit is free. Now, will the spirit continue to evolve and grow with the family? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. What I've learned is the way they come back will depend on a few things. One, who they are reuniting with. So if it, for example, let's say you've got someone who's lost a child 18 years ago as a baby, and it's the cousin or sister in the audience, that child will probably come through. Maybe it's the baby, so the person can reference that and say, yeah, my sister lost a baby 18 years ago. But if it's the mum who might be reuniting with the child, and that mum's kept that child alive, and I'll tell you about someone called Hayden in a minute, she could well come through at the age she would be now. Is she that physical age now? She can't be that physical age now because she's no longer physical, but she's had that many years experience with the family. So when you use the words grow up, they can't grow up physically. Can they share those life experiences? Absolutely. And Penny, I'll tell you the story. Years and years ago, I did a house party. So I was getting going. And this little boy, this baby boy came through called Hayden. And cut a long story short, Luke, the mum said, can you come speak to my partner? He's a correct non-believer. At the time, I was just getting going. She said, yeah, I'll see you next week. So I went round the next week. Hayden came through. Over the years, she must have had 3 more boys. Hayden popped in. Hayden became a little shit. So now I think Hayden, I haven't seen him for years. They moved up to Suffolk. But I think last time I saw Hayden was about 9 or 10, about 5, 6 years ago. He was growing. He would come through at the age he was then. So his mum had a reference of what was going on in the family. Remember, everybody, it comes down to the ultimate in terms of spirit. And Hayden was a little shit one Christmas morning. That's another story together. Hayden on Christmas morning, about how he drove me crazy to talk to his mum. And that comes into getting messages when I'm not working. And this little Hayden was a complete little so-and-so, little shit. And he is. Just because we're the other side, he can still be a little bugger. Because he is. I know he's probably older now, but he's fitting in with his family. So it's, what I'm coming back to is it will depend on the need of the family here and the best way he can get a message. If it's not his mum or dad in the audience or in the congregation, how can he best get that message across? And also, if you want to give it deep, let's say it's the sister, let's call her name Anne, and the child comes to Anne with the only reference point that sister's got to her nephew, who might be 18, is him as a baby. So he might come through as a fully mature spirit, but the brain, remember, our brain will still process shit. Our brain still, although everything's coming through spiritually, our brain has to make it to a physical understanding. We have this physical experience. It's going to make sense physically. And suddenly, oh, it's a baby. Because that's how it's going to reference best for the sister. And that's my brain, or the means brain, making it that way. Oh.
Agreed.
See, we're on the same page. Same page. Oh. Hi Lisa, we're not doing messages tonight. We're having a chit chat. This is my friend Ken in Las Vegas. He's just interviewed me. Well, it's not really. We're chatting. So Lisa, this is this is Kevin, who's got a psychic medium in Washington DC, and I'm Becs. And I'm a pole dancer from London.
This pole dancer.
I've got this got to be in a pole dancer inside of me. But Lisa, you're so welcome. Please stay around and listen. We're just chatting for a little bit longer. We've done a couple hours already, so we're just going to chat.
Yeah, once we stop it, is recorded. Then you can listen to the interview at the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
I do.
Penny, what a rabbit hole. Whoa.
What's the question?
Why do they never mention there are aliens or some other form of life apart from well, because we haven't been asked, Penny. Of course there's a life on our planet and different dimensions. Penny, I've done spirit medicine. I've been there. I shouldn't be saying that, but I have. So, so Penny, yes. Double yes. In fact,
okay.
Sorry, don't forget. In fact, the Pentagon have confirmed there are UFOs on our planet that they can't recognize. they have actually admitted there's a commander failure who was a flight commander on an aircraft carrier, and they saw something called Tic Tacs off the American coast. These have been actually admitted by the US government. They don't know what they are. The reason why it's not worldwide press is because of people like Trump and all the and COVID and all the other stuff going on. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's just the way it is at the moment. So absolutely, and I've got my favourite Oracle cards, Penny, are the Starseed pack, because as a kid I look at the stars and they take me home. I know I've had other life experiences, and underwater rain, absolutely, and underwater. So yes, I don't know what your view is, Kev. Are we going to row, Kev? Are we going to disagree?
An alien? Are there aliens or someone from like on this planet? I know I've talked to someone who's really into UFOs, who's a psychic medium, as well, and he's saying they're all kind of one and the same. I guess he's talking about maybe different. They're of different vibration. And we're perceiving them as, such and such. I don't know. That's what I've heard, but it's fascinating. I wish we'd get more evidence with all these people with damn cell phones. And why can't we get more interesting, videos? Everyone's ready with their phone.
There is loads. There is so much out there. And what they recorded with the US Naval Air Force.
Yeah.
They're not. There's no propulsion. It's gravitational.
Right. Yeah, I saw those. Amazing.
Oh, Night Marine, they would accelerate from 0 to like 80,000 feet.
I know. It's amazing. It's fascinating.
And as Avril said, there's footage from UFO space. Yes, absolutely. So there are. But also, you think, and if you want to go down another rabbit hole of altered states of consciousness that aren't trance mediumship, that is more about the sacred medicines, the plant medicines that are natural to our planet, that can induce an altered state of consciousness and get us to meet spirit. I don't necessarily mean your family and friends and loved ones, but spirit per se, and different dimensions that are there. Absolutely. So, Penny, I'm your girl, love. We'll chat all night, and I love you. I love your avatar. Love your avatar.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, we've done over 2 hours already.
Oh my God.
We've done 2 hours.
We should probably end, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking that because we've done 2 hours. So everyone, I know Kevin's interviewed me, but I know you also. First of all, to Kevin's people, thank you so much for indulging me and listening to me. And to my people that are here, I thank you so much for being so nice to Kevin. It was a joint interview chat tonight. I think the world of this man. And it's been nice to get to know him a bit more. Is it like Cambo? Yes. Although I've never touched Cambo because Cambo can make your face swell up, and I've got 18 screws and 4 plates in my mouth and loads of scar tissue, so I can't use Cambo. And Cambo's more like a cleansing and a physical healing medicine, as opposed to something like Buffo or San Pedro or ayahuasca. Okay, so that was just.
Well, I want to thank you, Becs, for again indulging me and the interview here for my Psychic Mediums live show. I thought you would be great, and of course you are amazing. And I thank your people for being kind to me, and I want to thank my people for being there for me and supporting me. And I'll continue to provide more interesting content to help folks understand and learn more about what we do and how we do it differently, and how you too can be part of this journey. And that's what I do, teaching people like, come on, get on board. We all have some abilities, and but you have to do the homework. I tell my students, you got to do the homework. You just can't say, oh, I see dead people. Wonderful. Now let's talk about communicating with them and understanding them and all these other things, and understanding you are now in the ministry of healing. So you have to be healed yourself. You have to be of good mind.
And we're doing a road trip to Las Vegas. We're doing a road trip to Las Vegas.
Then we'll get Becs to do shows in the East Coast and then in Vegas and move on. I know you can do it. So it's just a matter of the timing now. So thank you all. We'll have fun. Well, thank you. And I'm going to look at the comments and see if I can. I know there are a lot of comments. And I reply and answer some of the questions that we didn't get to. And that'll take days and days and days because there's so much.
9 o'clock.
Sorry.
Kevin. No, go on, Kevin. Sorry, I interrupt you. Sorry, I think you finished. Sorry.
I said it's probably, you've got a lot of comments, so you've got a lot of fan base there, so it's going to take me a while. I'll go through and see if I can answer as many questions as I can. It's 5 o'clock here in Washington, D.C. Please pray for us. Those of you, please pray for us, because my God, we've got such ugly running our government, and all we can do is vote him out, and we'll bring anybody else in, please. So thank you all very much. Come back.
We'll have to chat one night as well, just you and me, to have a chat. No, just
to chat.
Everyone loves you so much. We'll have to set up, maybe in a week's time, we'll just have a chat night. Just me and you, and get everyone who wants to pop in for a chat, because this has been great tonight, and everyone's loved you so much.
Well, it's your folks are great, and I love chatting with you, and it's really nice to catch up with you, because I really haven't had a chance to. We've been texting or messenger, but this is more fun. Thank you. Look forward to it.
Yeah, Susan's been praying for America. Yeah. You're my
Colorado. Pray.
Yeah. So I'm going to end it now. I'm going to have a little chat with Kevin offline. So everyone, thank you so much. Can I just, while you're here, can I please ask you to send a load of hearts up for Kevin and a hug for him before you all go? There's really not so many of us left now, but I just like just a few kisses and cuddles, because it's just been great to catch up with him and just have a chat. So Sarah James King wants it. So it's been a joy.
It has. Great fun.
And with that,